Right guys, so welcome to my YouTube. Right, so I don't really know where this is going to go. I'll be doing loads of different stuff in it. It's not going to be per se one consistent theme. It'll have like day in a life, what I eat in a day, training sessions, talking about life, just loads of different shit in essence. It won't be fancy, it'll be raw and authentic. I'm a big believer in doing that because I think there's so many fake personalities on social media, and especially within the fitness community now. It's full of fucking con artists. So I just want it to be raw, authentic, nice to watch, bit of entertainment. You might do it while you're on toilet, after you've shagged your missus, if you're doing your cardio, if you're in the gym doing cardio, literally whenever. So let's just see what happens. So talk a little bit about myself to begin with, and there's probably going to be some footage put over here while I talk. When I was growing up, I was just fascinated by physiques per se, so like your Action Men, He-Man, all that typical stuff from my era. I was a 90s kid and I was obsessed with watching World's Strongest Man. Like I always used to sit down and watch it with my dad, and I really wanted to train, but my mum and dad wouldn't let me because it was that old myth of it had stumped your growth basically. So I ate like a strong man, so that's probably what did put me into a position of being a fat cunt. So come like 16, 17, I was 19.5 stone, 44-inch waist. Anyway, fast forward a little bit, got my PT qualification at 17, done numerous courses within that which I'll lead on to, and I lost a lot of weight prior to going to Australia. So I got down to about 12.5 stone, lived in Australia for just over a year, and then sort of did the usual thing of bulking up, cutting down what's seen underneath. And I actually spanned my wheels for a lot of the years because I thought the longer I diet, the better I'll look, when that's not necessarily the case if you're into this sort of thing, which people usually fall into the trap of. Like, you need to build your calories up eventually. You can't diet forever, otherwise you'll turn into nothing. So I was probably like a skinny, fat, not really muscly sort of kiddo, come around like 20 odd, etc. Then I just started increasing my knowledge. So I've been a PT since I was 17, 31 now. I train at a local gym called Muscle Factory in Swinton, in Rotherham. In my arguable opinion, it's my favourite gym around here. I'm going to be biased, but there's none of that bullshit where you're surrounded by tripods, or it's not like an influencer sort of gym. It's just people go there, fucking train, there's not a tripod in sight, and it's got wicked kit and quite a few pieces that I've bought for the gym as well, which will lead on to something later on in the year. Now, in terms of courses that I've done a module at RTS, resistance training specialisation, so I can work around loads of fucking injuries and how to train forever effectively. So if you're seeing these nerds who get their bands out and the cuffs and they're making out as though it's this new thing, probably want to derive from them, but also like your old school bodybuilders like John Meadows, they used to incorporate bands and chains and stuff, and it was more so used for powerlifting to get around a weak spot. Other courses I've done, multiple courses on nutrition, PED courses. If you're into bodybuilding, you know who John Jewett is, completed his J3U. Avid listener of podcasts, reading stuff to do with bodybuilding. Broderick Chavez, been to a lot of his work. I've done loads in essence. I'm not going to bore you too long with that because I don't want this to be a boring video. Then I was quite high in management in construction, and I left my job and I was fucking shitting myself because I was like, what if this happens, what if that happens? And it taught me a lot in a sense where you don't know what's going to happen, you've just got to go for it. I worked like a dog last year. I was like averaging about 90 hours a week, trying to fit everything in while coaching people, PTing people, running a site, etc. And I eventually got to a position where I could create the environment where I could coach full time. So I took the plunge and I've not looked back. Now, any young coach, person who's into the gym or looking to do the same, I'd said get yourself to a position where you're very, very, very comfortable, like over comfortable in terms of your income before leaving your job and decided to do this full time. Because like I say, you never know what's around the corner and you never know what's going to happen. I still have my days where I'm like, a client's dropped off, but then 2 more will sign up, etc. So what I will say to young people is just get yourself in a good spot. Don't live off the swipe with your mum and dad. Get yourself into a solid position where you know you can 110% leave your job, and then go for it. And then if you failed, at least you tried, or if it's a success, then win-win. You've lesson learned either way. You're not going to sit on your deathbed thinking, I wish I left my job sooner and I could have pursued other things or done more, etc. So a bit of a lesson learned there for me, and hopefully I can give back to other people as well. So in this video, I'll show you a bit of, I've told you about myself, I'll show you like a bite to eat, probably get a training session in as well. Yeah, go from there. I was saying to Robbie last time, like, we've got so many B-roll content of me making a fucking omelette in the morning. It's just what I have every morning. Fucking, literally got about fucking 10 clips of me just having an omelette. So one of the things that I've got with all of my clients is just a big welcome group chat. I'll put in useful documents and shit like that. If it's exercises, form breakdowns, or useful little documents that I've created, I'll always try and keep that updated. Now, recently it has been a little bit quiet, but I have been putting more documents in there and stuff, so it's just a little added features to the coaching service, that's all. It's nothing big, just little things along the way, like even if I see good discounts on whey protein or good gym kits, food offers, or just fucking anything really, can be anything whatsoever, that all goes in there as well. One of the things that I find fucking mental is when you get feedback from another person about another coach that they say the coach hasn't responded in like a couple of days. I'm just like, you've literally got one fucking job. What the fuck do you do? Like, it takes 30 seconds to message someone back. Just a bit of a side ramble there for you. Look, thank you. Can I have a kiss? Thank you. Can I have a big hug? No, big hug. Can I have a big hug? He's like a fucking unicorn. They're both rescues, so I got Bandit when they were 18 months. So originally, he was in a gypsy camp. He got rescued from a gypsy camp by a lady in the army. And but she couldn't keep him on base. She recently split up with her partner, so she was living on base. And how it went, I was still working in construction at the time, and my contracts manager, he was on fucking Zoom or Skype, whatever, to this lass who was a QS. She was working from home. Anyway, she had a new pup. And Steve shouted me over, "Here Ben, come look at this." And the puppy there, and I'm fucking dog obsessed. So I was in the puppy there. Couldn't tell, by the way. I know, yeah, I know. Great fucking pack. Anyway, so then the dog's gone off the screen. I can't remember its name now, but I was shouting it, running up to the screen and stuff. I was like, fuck, set me off this. So straight on went on, I think it's like Pets for Homes or something like that, where like people sell the dogs. And he popped up, and I'm messaging her till about fucking 9, 10 o'clock at night or whatever it is. And she kept asking like the same questions, like, have you got any kids? Like, what's your garden like, or something like that. Like, have you had a dog before? Just like generic questions, but over and over again. I was thinking, this is a fucking scam, this. Anyway, like, she messaged me there saying, I want you to have him. It was either a Thursday or a Friday that I went back into work. I was building a kids' prison at the time in Sheffield. As soon as I walked into site, lads got there, said, lads, site shutting early, gonna get my dog. But what? Gonna get my fucking dog. You're going home early, basically. So set off to Crewe straight after work. Got him. Anyway, so then she went, oh, shall we go on field and just like see if like you get along, all that sort of shit. Anyway, so I took a couple of toys with me, I took a ball, throwing a ball on this field, and he was fetching it and bringing it back, because she was like, he's never done that. He's never, and I was like, well, he's a spaniel, that's what they do. And he got along with me, and she was like, he don't like men. And I was thinking, well, something not right there either. Anyway, got him home, and fucking that were it from then. If you're not bored yet and you're still watching this video, these sweet picante peppers, fucking mega. So I've got a little bit of a kick to them, but they're literally so sweet. Just adds a lot of flavour to your meal. Like, something that I say to people is like, make your meals colourful, because with that, you're going to automatically get some variety in your food, and it just makes your meals more satiating. You just enjoy them more, so you're going to stick to your plan a little bit more. So welcome to Muscle Factory. It's a little bit cold, as gym should be. Should work hard. Anyway, I'll talk you through a little bit of what I have in my intro drink. For you newbies, that just means a drink during your workout, basically. All my goodies are up here. Anyway, one thing that I'm going to try today, I'm going to try putting my pump in the drink that I drink during the workout. I was talking to Chris, who currently owns the gym. He has his during the workout, so his body stays saturated during the workout, which I understand the sort of logic behind that. Never really done that before, but I'll give it a go today, just to see how it feels. So I'm gonna have a pre-workout before. It's just some ABE. I got that just at a decent price. And then I'll try my pump during the workout. What'll go in my bottle of water is some EAAs, creatine, and some electrolytes, just to make sure I stay hydrated the right way, etc. If for some reason this content reaches Dubai and there's an influencer following this, I fucking hate you and envy you, because you are nice and warm. Right, so Muscle Factory Gym in Swinton. So it's quite a big gym. It's like a hidden gem of gyms in this area. Not many people know about it. Like in here, there's a chest room. We've got 9 chest presses, 3 pec decks, 2 big cable stacks, 3 sets of dumbbells, all the way up to like 70 kilo. And then you walk through here, got the back room, and then we've got some leg pieces here. And then down the little alleyway there, ab machine, another Smith. And then this is the actual leg room. So we've got a lot of nice pieces, Nautilus, Cybex, Old School Planet Strength, Exego. Then it goes into the functional room, cable stack, cardio, Stairmaster, GHD machine, sled on the track behind me. And then in here, latest room, shoulders and arms room. Like in here we've got some Old School Panatta, Hammer Strength, again, Planet Strength Systems, Nitrum, Nautilus, Life Fitness. So again, massive mix of kit. All really nice pieces as well. Mixture of old school, new school, all that sort of shit. So whenever I start my gym sessions, I always start with just 5-minute warm up on the bike. The reason for that is it just gets blood flowing around my body, warms me up a little bit. Again, I do it year round. Doesn't affect training because it's only 5 minutes, just getting your heart rate going, blood moving around your system, etc. Fucking that's fucked me a little bit, that. Anyway, today's session, I'm gonna do triceps and shoulders. I'm actually gonna put triceps first. It won't hinder my shoulder work with how I've programmed it. And the reason behind that is I'm hitting triceps first because my triceps are shit. I need a lot more arm. You can never have too much arm. So it's just something I'm trialing at the moment. I've done it with my biceps. It's worked really well. Now, I don't typically do a triceps and shoulder session. We're just filming today and I've tweaked my workouts around this week a little bit. So it's been a nice, efficient workout, in and out in about an hour. Yeah, that's around it. So when I'm training with triceps, I'll typically do some form of extension or push down, and then I'll do some form of overhead tricep exercise just to hit the long head of the tricep. Now, I neglected them for a long time, and put it this way, I'll never neglect them again after seeing what they can do when you are training the long head of your tricep. What you want to be thinking when you're performing a push down exercise is you don't want your hands to just literally be pushing to the floor like that per se, and like driving through your pinky. Drive through your forefinger and you'll feel your tricep much more. Another little tip when you're performing any tricep extension, push down, etc., is you want your shoulders to be locked back and down into position. Again, there's a time and a place for it. I'm a big believer in time and a place for everything, but people will start the exercise hunched over and they're going like that, and like they're doing a shrug and putting all the body weight behind it. Usually that's because either A, it's too heavy for the person, or B, they're just not sure how to perform the exercise. But if you lock your shoulders back and down, again, it will put the isolation on your triceps a lot more. It'll make it harder as well. It'll be quite humbling to the first time that you do it if you do it the other way. Give it a go, see what you reckon. So what I'm gonna do next is dumbbell skull crusher. Now, you'll see people do these with like an EZ bar or on the cable stack. Nothing wrong with it. I just connect nicely with these, more than one way to skin a cat and all that sort of shit. Now, what you wanna imagine is you're extending up to the ceiling, is your elbow is driving through the opposite side of the room to you. Like fully elongate and stretch on the way down, then drive through the back of the room on the way up. So I don't really have a set warm-up routine. I'm quite intuitive with it because I've been doing it for a while, but I'm just trying to get a little bit of blood into my rotator cuff, allow a bit of movement, open them up a little bit before going into my working exercises. So with the cable Y raise, what you want to do is literally imagine you're doing the YMCA. So you're trying to create a Y with your arms. Now you're gonna feel tension all over your shoulder joint when you're performing that exercise. Another little cue for you to do is pin back your back into the support behind you on the bench. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna stabilize you more. If your back is pinned into the support behind you, then the more force you're able to produce through the cable stacker well, which just means bigger shoulders. One thing that I found myself when I was filming Rawberry was like, I'd be doing something and I'd have the most mongiest fucking face in the world. No, because you're fucked. Then when you watch people on Instagram and they're like, they've got this fucking filtered, Botox full face, and you're thinking, how the fucking hell are you doing that? Like, I literally look like fucking Hey You Guys off at Goonies. So next up is the seated dumbbell side raise. Now, I'll do the exercise in a minute, obviously, but what you want to do when you're getting into the exercise is pretend you're doing like a lat spread to begin with, like spread your back, and then raise from there. It'll make it a little bit harder, but you'll feel it so much more in your delts. Another little tip for people when they're performing the dumbbell side raise is, I've got some weird cues, but once you hear it, it sort of makes sense. I hope it does. So, as you're coming up, you want your elbows to be above your wrists. Now, a little tip for you is, imagine there's a little puppet master just dragging up from your elbows there, and suddenly your hands will relax a little bit. You'll see people get into it, and they'll either be fucking swinging it all over the show, or like they'll twist their hands out and their wrist will be higher than their elbow like that. So just try and avoid that. But then again, if it feels really good in your delts, I'm not one to say don't do it whatsoever. If it feels good, then continue. It's just a little tip for you, that's all, if you are struggling to feel it in your side delt. A little tip for people when they're performing a shoulder press is don't just think about driving the weight through the ceiling, through the roof, fucking whatever. Imagine as you're pressing, you're trying to make your shoulder touch your earlobe. It just creates that mind-muscle connection a little bit more, so you can squeeze your shoulders just that touch more. Mate, I'm that new to like all this YouTube shit now. Don't really know how to end the video, so after this workout, I ain't got a fucking clue where it's gonna go. It might not even go anywhere. This might just be it, so apologies in advance, but hopefully I've not bored you too much. So last exercise of this workout, more than likely, is going to be cuffed cable side lat raise. Now, this exercise is probably my all-time favorite shoulder exercise. I put this exercise down to a lot of my shoulder growth, not just for the exercise, but it learned me how to feel my side delt properly, and also taught me a little bit how important scapular retraction or keeping your scapula locked down can be. Like again, there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place for your scapula to move, a time and a place for it to be locked down. So when you're performing the cuffed cable side lat raise, you're lying down as well, is literally lie down on the fucking bench and imagine your elbows are just trying to touch either side of the room. Now, try and forget about this section of your hand. All you want to be thinking about is your elbow to your shoulder. So all that exists in this exercise. That is just a tool to enable you to get there.